Yuriy Fedorovych, a Ukrainian national, a clever hacker, believed to be in Russia. He was running a billion-dollar company. But he did not even have an office. He had his laptop on a kitchen table somewhere in Eastern Europe. The employees were invisible. The products were stolen credit card numbers, causing over $1 billion in damages. Not a million, billion, with a B. His top managers got handcuffed one by one, flown to America, and sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. He should be nervous. He should be looking over his shoulder. But he was not, because he knows something the FBI knows too. He's untouchable. He is still free. Though if you go looking for Yuriy Fedorovych today, you will need a map of Russia. That's where he's believed to be hiding. He's not a guy who writes malicious code line by line. Fedorovych is a management, corporate leadership, the CEO of a criminal empire that security researchers and the FBI call FIN7, also known as the Carboner Group or the Navigator Group. Oh, and he once ran a fake cybersecurity company to recruit hackers. Talk about hiring your own competition. Here's where the story gets almost funny, if it wasn't so terrifying. FIN7 needed skilled hackers. But how do you recruit top talent for a criminal enterprise? You don't post on LinkedIn, right? Wrong. Fedorovych and his leadership team set up a front company called Combi Security. They built a professional website describing themselves as one of the leading international companies in the field of information security. They claimed to offer penetration testing services. They pretended to be legitimate. And here's the twisted part. The website actually listed real US companies that had been hacked, as if they were satisfied customers. So imagine being a young IT specialist in Ukraine. You apply for a job at a cybersecurity firm. You get hired. You start your first day excited about protecting businesses from hackers. Except your real job is breaking into those businesses. You're working for Yuriy Fedorovych, and you don't even know it. The man turned recruitment into an art form. Combi Security had no legitimate customers, zero, but it had plenty of employees who thought they were on the right side of the law. Fedorovych built a shadow company inside a fake company, and real people with real families walked right into his trap. Between late 2015 and 2018, Fedorovich's team went to work. And they did not just hit a few gas stations. We're talking about more than 100 US companies across 47 states. We're talking about over 6,000 point-of-sale terminals at over 3,600 business locations. And lastly, 15 million customer card records. You've eaten at these places. You've swiped your card without thinking twice. Chipotle Mexican Grill, Chili's, Arby's, Red Robin, Jason's Deli, Saks Fifth Avenue, Lord & Taylor. Every time someone bought a burrito or a burger or a new shirt, Fedorovich's team was quietly copying their credit card number in the background. The attacks spread beyond America too. The United Kingdom, Australia, France, all felt the shocks of FIN7. The group operated like a multinational corporation with more than 70 people organized into business units and teams. Hackers were one department, malware developers were another. The people crafting those convincing phishing emails had their own division. Fedorovych sat somewhere above all of them, overseeing the chaos, collecting the profits. Here's how they actually got in. Imagine you're working the front desk at a hotel. You get an email that looks like a reservation inquiry. The email looks normal, it sounds normal. Then your phone rings. It's someone following up about that same email, making sure you received it, sounding professional and polite. You think it's a real customer. You open the attachment they sent, and that attachment, usually a Microsoft Word document, unleashes a modified version of the Carbonac malware onto your company's computer system. Once inside, the malware spreads through the network, hunting for point-of-sale terminals. It waits for customers to swipe their cards, and then it steals everything. The hackers didn't just grab the numbers and run, they used sophisticated tools. They installed something called the BioLoad loader, which helped them hide inside Windows systems by exploiting a scheduled task called FOD cleanup task that runs automatically. They used another tool called BoostWrite that actually had a valid digital certificate, so security software initially thought it was legitimate. They even developed something called RDF Sniffer that hijacked legitimate remote administration tools used by ATM companies, letting them monitor live connections between stores and their headquarters. Fedorovich's technical team was constantly innovating, always one step ahead. But in 2018, the law finally caught up with some of them. In January, Fedir Chladir was arrested in Dresden, Germany. He was FIN7's systems administrator, the guy who maintained the servers, managed the encrypted communication channels, and aggregated all those stolen credit card numbers. Around the same time, Dmytro Fyodorov got picked up in Bielsko-Biała, Poland. He was a high-level hacker. Then in June, Andriy Kolpakov was arrested in Lepe, Spain. He was another supervisor, another manager in the FIN7 hierarchy. All three were extradited to the United States. All three faced 26 felony counts: conspiracy, wire fraud, computer hacking, access device fraud, aggravated identity theft. In 2021, Fedir Chladir was sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. The acting assistant attorney general called FIN7 out for causing over $1 billion in losses to Americans and costs to the US economy. The prosecutor in Seattle said Chladir worked at the intersection of all these activities and thus bears heavy responsibility for billions in damage. 3 managers are gone, 3 convictions, 3 men going to American prisons. But where was Yuriy Fedorovych? He was named alongside these men. He was indicted too, in 2021, according to the records. But while Chladir sat in a courtroom in Seattle, Fedorovych sat somewhere else entirely. Russia. That's the magic shield. Russia does not extradite its citizens to the United States, and Fedorovych, despite being Ukrainian, is believed to have crossed that border and found safety. In April 2025, the UK government added a Yuriy Fedorovych to its sanctions list, listing an address on Bolshaya Dmitrovka Street in Moscow, Russia. The birth date matches, January 1st, 1972. The timing fits. The location explains everything. He's not hiding in a basement somewhere. He's living in Moscow, probably walking down normal streets, eating at normal restaurants, while the FBI and international law enforcement agencies know exactly where he is. So here's where we stand today. Fedorovych was indicted in 2021. His co-conspirators are serving time in American prisons. The FBI has worked with law enforcement in Germany, Poland, Spain, and other countries to track down FIN7 members. They've disrupted one of the most prolific hacking groups in history. But the top leader? The man who oversaw the hackers and developers? The man who helped cause over $1 billion in losses? He's in Russia. And unless he makes a mistake, unless he travels to a country that will extradite him, unless he gets careless, he'll probably stay there. That's the frustrating reality of international cybercrime. You can build the case, you can gather the evidence, you can get the indictment. But if the hacker has the right passport and stays in the right country, justice hits a wall. Yuriy Fedorovych may already be planning the next attack, because FIN7 didn't die when his managers got arrested. Security researchers have tracked the group continuing to develop new tools, new loaders, and new evasion techniques. The malware keeps evolving, the attacks keep happening, and the man who helped build it all remains free. The question is, for how long?